I have always loved this time of year. Christmas has always been so special to me. But in the last few years, it's been more special than it ever has been. Though Christmas is not celebrated by everybody in the world, for Christians and for most people, it is not just a time for gifts and this kind of thing, but it is a time that we celebrate what God did for us. It is a time that we celebrate that Jesus was born. Whether it's his actual birthday or not doesn't matter. What does matter is that we realize what God did for us. Scripture says that God gave his only begotten Son. What that means to us is that once we accept him, we become part of a family. A lot of you don't have families at Christmas, and you maybe never had Christmas like I had it, and I so appreciate that. Many times at the center we have women who never had a real family, and people that come to the center say, why? I've never heard people talk about, I love you as much as you do it at the center. But the reason we do that is because it's genuine. We really are family. Especially once you become a believer with us, what happens is you're never excluded again. You are part of God's family. The gift that God gave us in his Son makes you part of the family. I know that when I went through times in my life, I felt excluded from things. I can remember not making cheerleader because I was too fat. I can remember when I had my legal problems. People that had known me before excluded me from things. I know that I have been excluded, and isn't it an awful feeling? Isn't it an awful feeling when people tell you, we don't want you here? It's never that way once you become part of God's family. You will always have a place. You will never be excluded. Part of the reason that I love Christmas so much now is I watch our women, and I watch people who have never belonged before, and I watch them as they were embraced by each other. A simple I love you changes someone's whole day. A simple hug just to show you care. Those are the things that really Christmas is about. Love, hugs, words that you can say to make someone feel better. I remember one time I was at a meeting, and I could tell I wasn't really wanted. Nobody knew who I was, and I was supposed to speak. And I was sitting there, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And as usual, I arrived a few minutes late, and I was alone that night. And I sat down I finally found a seat. The first seat I found, a man told me, that's for my wife. Then I found another seat, that's for my brother. And I thought, oh my gosh, And then all of a sudden, a gentleman came up, and he put his arms around me, and he took me to a table. And the very table that I had tried to sit at before, once he established and he showed his love for me, all of a sudden, everybody was glad to have me at their table. And I can remember thinking what it felt like for nobody to want me that night. That seems like such a simple thing, but we've all felt that in our lives before. Out of place, unloved, not wanted, but it doesn't have to be that way. I can tell you, the love at the Loveladies Center is genuine. We love our women. More than anything, I want people to recognize that this season is not about presents. It's not about anything, but it's about you being part of our family. If you're a volunteer, you're part of it with us. You're changing people's lives, and that's what is so important. Jesus' birth was God's gift to everyone. Not just me, but to everyone. Every one of you. This means that we're equally together in His love. We're all created by Him, and He loves every one of us. Well, I'm just not ready for this God thing. You need to really examine yourself this season. You might better be ready. Without Him, there is no hope. There's only one way. I've examined over my lifetime many other ways, and there is only one way. The scripture says that Jesus is the way, and I have never been more aware of it than I am right now. Think about where you were last year or the year before. Think about how you spent Christmas. Think about what you did, where you were staying, and then look at the love that abounds at the center. Last week, when we had the tablescapes that I had talked to you about, I watched many of the women at the center. Tears rolled down their cheeks because of what people had done that didn't even know them. I watched staff that doesn't get paid like they should. They don't call it. It's not a 9-to-5 job for them. It's a way of life. Someone asked me when I was going to retire. How do you retire from God? How do you retire from living the life that He has blessed you with? You may not feel blessed right now, but if you will take a moment to just consider what He has done for you. The very essence of this season is love. God's love for all is what has made this season possible. As we celebrate, let's take a moment to reflect on what He has done for you. Instead of worrying about what you don't have, consider what you do have. Consider what God has done for you. We love you so much. We hope you have a Merry Christmas. I'm not saying I hope you get everything you want. That happiness comes from within. And I hope you recognize that. Thank you.